topics in the newsletter. So if you're subscribed to the newsletter, you'll be able to get this content in a few minutes from now, but I wanted to give you a heads up. So we'll be talking about a few things on the newsletter. First topic I'll be sharing is they have a travel report where they have interesting things about what's booking now, what's not booking, about things, property types, length of stay, changes with the last few years. And what's interesting to me is that usually Airbnb is much criticized for being just, about hype, about PR. But I'd love to, have your opinion on this, because to me, somehow, reality has rejoined PR in a sense that when it comes to unique places, they've really increased the number of unique places they have. They've really increased, for example, the way they showcase them. And even it's only like, I think it's only like, they make up 170,000 properties on their website over I think there's more than 5 million listings, so it's nothing, but it's crucial because it's, of course, what's PR friendly, because what people are looking for right now. So if you're dreaming about going somewhere else, going to the countryside or by the sea, want to escape, Airbnb is a good place to dream about this, even if you end up booking a condo or just like the usual apartment. But at least you're going to do this on Airbnb. So I think they did a really good job at this. Again, look at the data, because I really wanted to highlight here things you may have seen in the data they've shared. So it's real data from Airbnb. Same thing for flexible dates. Flexible dates, to me, it was quite striking to see that actually Booking.com and Vrbo do not allow you to say search for, I want to see listings that are like one day or 3 days before my check-in, check-out dates, right? It's just going to give me more choices. They don't allow that. And you read the article, you explain how, I explain a bit, it's actually complicated technically, it's expensive technically to do that. So the fact that Airbnb is doing this is very interesting. Now, so obviously, they also say that people tend to book more with these options on. We'll see that it's actually even more true if people were looking for long-term stay. So again, read the article. They explain to you what data are found remarkable and why, what it says for you. Especially if you're a property manager with a website, there are very good ideas you want to take from them. Another topic we'll be covering in the newsletter today is in the US, there are big labor shortages when it comes to hospitality workers, vacation rental workers. In Orlando, for example, it's happening in Europe as well. So here you see there's an article, there's also a video with an interview of Lou Bujarski. He's a CEO of Extend Team, an outsourcing company. It's quite interesting to hear about this. Another article we have in the newsletter today is actually linking to a topic I shared 2 days ago in this group, which was Vrbo's fees. So looks like in some areas, in some cases, Vrbo is asking property managers to switch to a model where they pay a 15% host fee and the guest will not pay any guest fee. So it's a model similar to Booking.com or to the simplified pricing that Airbnb rolled out last December to most countries of the world, except, for example, the US. So to me, it's very interesting to hear this, because it's always this thing is that it's Airbnb rolling out a mandatory change to 15% commission to hosts, or Vrbo doing the same. It's kind of big, but as it's not happening in the US, it's not been really talked about. It's fascinating, isn't it? So let's see what it means and what you can learn from that. And last topic we have about is something that we're sharing, which is what's happening in Asia Pacific. Usually there are not many data in Asia Pacific about what's going on in Asia Pacific. And here we've been lucky to work with look at this article because last week we did a report about European data. This week we're doing Asia Pacific. Again, I really make sure that we're not just covering the US. As you know, obviously, I think it's very important to cover the US. It's a huge market. Europe is just as big, and Asia Pacific is very interesting, very interesting. You will see, for example, for Asia Pacific, some actors like Traveloka, I never talked about, but it's huge, huge there. So just read all about this in your newsletter, and I hope it's going to be interesting to you. Cheers.